Gaza Civil Defense Agency says more than 100 Palestinians have been killed as Israeli forces renewed calls to eliminate Hamas from the enclave. But despite the strikes, Israel says it is resuming compliance with the US-brokered ceasefire. Gaza health officials say the IDF targeted homes and makeshift tents. The Israeli military says it struck dozens of terror targets and terrorists after the Prime Minister ordered strikes over alleged ceasefire violations by Hamas and after the IDF said one of its soldiers had been killed in combat in southern Gaza. Donald Trump, meanwhile, insisting that nothing is going to jeopardize the truce, but he has also defended Israeli actions to hit back when its soldiers are targeted. And more, Blake Sifton, who is covering the story for CNN, joins us live from Tel Aviv. Blake, since that ceasefire earlier in October, we have seen both the IDF and Hamas accusing each other of violating this ceasefire. Do these alleged violations pose any significant threat to the maintenance of the ceasefire?
Good evening, Wei Su. In some ways, this escalation is similar to an outbreak of violence in Gaza. We saw it some 10 days ago. Both began with an attack by Hamas on Israeli engineering soldiers in Rafah who were operating bulldozers. And in both cases, Israeli soldiers were killed. The difference is that this time, Israel's response was much heavier and lasted longer. Local health officials in Gaza say some 104 Palestinians were killed in this wave of Israeli airstrikes overnight Tuesday into Wednesday morning. In the previous outbreak of violence on October 19th, 44 people were killed. So if Israeli responses to perceived violations continue to grow heavier, of course, we could see the situation spiral out of control. And Israel is also losing patience with what it calls the slow pace of return of hostage bodies by Hamas. Of course, they have accused Hamas of purposely delaying the return of hostage bodies. And the Israeli government was outraged yesterday when it became clear that the body of a hostage Hamas released on Monday night was not a new hostage, but was in fact the partial remains of a hostage whose body was already recovered from Gaza in December of 2023. And the Israeli government was already weighing retaliating against Hamas before the attack in Rafah began. Now, the United States and especially President Trump have continued to project optimism and positivity when it comes to this ceasefire, but they have to be getting concerned that the violence is getting worse.
Thanks, that Blake Sifton there covering the story for CNN from Tel Aviv.